the idea of encountering obstacles or having to overcome obstacles whenever we want to do something we haven't done before, or when we want to change something that we've done for a long time and where we feel comfortable and safe, is so deeply ingrained in our nowadays thinking that most people take that for granted and just take that as a fact. But truth is that whether or not you encounter obstacles on your way, and even if you encounter obstacles, how they will impact your path, how they will impact the way you reach your goal, actually completely depends on your mindset and depends on whether or not you can manage to stay in the present moment. Go in there with extreme openness, ready to deal with whatever comes up in a very creative and very open way. Today, this thought of something needing courage to be done is something that's almost natural to most people. You all know that, like someone saying, "Oh wow, must have taken a lot of courage to get up on that stage in front of 2,000 people." Or, "Whoa, must have taken a lot of courage to actually quit that job and just go on this journey around the world, traveling around the world, maybe even working around the world." But what always jumps to my mind when I see this is, why courage? Why the idea of valor, of bravery, instead of the idea of curiosity? Think about it. Whenever you approach something with curious, open eyes and arms, you're in the very present moment. You're extremely alert, you're extremely aware. Thus, you have this ability to deal with whatever comes up in this very moment in an extremely creative way. Because with curiosity, you're not stuck in some sort of focused or in some sort of literally projected idea of how things have to be, how you will come from A to B, what you will encounter. All of those things, they are simply projections. Projections out of fear, projections out of bad experiences, out of memories. But whenever you stay curious, you actually partially adopt the mindset of a child. A child also approaches situations as if, and sometimes in reality, never seen before. And that allows for an extreme variety of different possibilities of actually deal with those situations, of creating new ways, creatively thinking about new solutions of how to deal with whatever comes up on the way. This is also something that's extremely important because it allows for magic to occur. Now, what do I refer to as magic? See, if you have this extremely clear, focused idea of how you want to get from A to B, most of the time you are not aware of possibilities that pop up on the way that might even be shortcuts. To actually stay present, alert, and aware of possibilities that show up, of so-called quote-unquote coincidences that show up in your life and that actually are there to help you to reach your goal, that help you to go from A to B. Those are the important things. Those are the things where you allow life to support you, where you allow life to help you. But whenever the very foundation of your thinking, the very foundation of your idea how to get from A to B already carries the seed of difficulty, of an obstacle, of stress, of requiring a lot of energy and a lot of hard determination and focus to get from A to B, then most of the time you are narrowing your point of view so much at the goal, and you are using so much energy to go in a more or less straight line, that you're likely to overlook where life actually tries to support you. This idea, this concept of resonance is not a joke, it's a physical reality. Resonance is a fundamental principle that every single thing around us works on. Whether that's on a quantum level, on a molecular level, on a biological level in terms of the forest surrounding us or biological systems, whether it's a human psychology and the human body, or it's literally the way things run in the universe, between galaxies, between planetary objects. Resonance is a very fundamental principle. Now, what does it mean in this framework, in this concept that I'm presenting right now? Well, the idea of you attract what you feel, you attract what you allow with what you give out into the world. That is truth. That is not some mind idea, some mind construct. It is actually physical reality. So when you create a path that's based in curiosity, still you do not have to lose focus of your goal. Your goal is fine, focus on your goal is fine, but approach the way to get there with curiosity. And this means that you will take one step after the other, fully present in every single step, fully aware of everything that turns up, still having your goal in mind in every single second of the way, and by that actually pulling in possibilities that help you to reach that goal even faster and to get there with much more ease, because you're suddenly supported by your surroundings, you're supported by everything that you attract, by everything that you interact with, and by every single action that you take. The opposite of that is to think of every single thing that you have to do with a mindset of, all right, that's gonna be difficult. I really have to work extremely hard for that. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it's extremely necessary and important to put in work, to put in the hours of work, to put in the hours of advanced education or something like that. But still, how you approach that, how you approach that necessity changes the way how much energy you actually have at your disposal to do the tasks that need to be done. And that's extremely important. If every task that you face that requires energy and that requires you to stay focused is something that you additionally approach with a mindset of difficulty, with a mindset of, I need to muster up some courage, some bravery in order to do this, then those steps that need to be done are much more difficult than they have to be. So I really encourage you to approach life with open arms, to have goals, to focus on goals and stay focused, but still approach every single step on the way, every situation you come across with curiosity rather than with the idea of it being an obstacle. Observe what it is that life delivers to you. Observe what situations you get in contact with. And then take it to the next level from there. Because chances are, in 99% of the cases, those chances that present themselves just out of a curious, open mindset and staying in the present will take you to your goal even faster. And even more importantly, we are creatures of codependence. We are in a biological network on this planet, and we co-create in every single second. We are networkers, and we combine our efforts with the efforts of others to get from A to B. Whether that's in terms of having to nourish ourselves with food, with water, with the air we breathe, or that we have to nourish ourselves intellectually by learning things from others, by using what others can help us with, and supporting our goal by using interconnections, using connections between people, talking, interconnections between people, biological systems, and ourselves and life itself. We are connected. And every single time we try to do something in a disconnected way, it gets much more difficult. So let's take this example that I brought earlier with getting up on stage, and some people thinking it requires courage to get up there. Yes, if you perceive yourself to get up there and being the one against the whole audience, then it requires bravery. Because this is something where fear is involved. You stand up there alone and you face 200, 300, 1,000, maybe 2,000 people in the audience. But what if you get up there and you perceive yourself as part of the audience? You perceive yourself as part of this very moment, just as much as every single person in the audience is part of that very moment. Suddenly your mindset switches from I'm up against all those people, I try to put my ideas out there and I hope they take it. Suddenly the mindset changes from that to, all right, I'm up there. I'm co-creating this moment with all those people in the room. Every single person in that room helps me to get my message out. Every single person in that room might have an opinion that can actually help me to take it to the next level, to understand even deeper. Every single person in that room influences me in some sort of way, and I influence them. And the way this interaction is going is completely dependent on how your mindset is working. You can co-create every single moment that you come across with whatever other thing or person is present in that moment. Or you can always perceive yourself as the one and only against the world and against everything that you see in your surroundings. Choose wisely, because one of those requires tremendous amounts of energy, and the other one rather gives you back a lot of energy, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of presence. When you stay open, when you stay curious, and you value co-creation, then suddenly all those piles of fear, all those layers of patterns that disconnect you from your surroundings, they just simply fall off. Because you allow the outside world to come in. And the best thing of it, if you want to transport a certain message, say to that audience, you can do so in a much, much better way by seeing it as a co-creation, because by opening up yourself to that moment, you also project your idea out to the audience in a much, much better way. You suddenly really become an influence and a creational point, a creational flame in this life. From reacting, you start acting, but not acting in a blindfolded, narrow-minded, one single direction focused type of manner. You suddenly start to act and to react in a very creative, momentary, and surprisingly present way. You become a player of all the strings that life presents to you in that very moment. And by that, you become a little bit softer. Softness in this case doesn't mean less impactful. On the contrary, by becoming this little bit softer, you allow for more impact of what you do, because chances are that you can actually touch more people with your message. Now, some of you might say, yeah, okay, that might go for this idea of presenting in front of an audience. But I can assure you, it's the same in every single situation. You want to quit your job, or you to play with the thought of quitting your job to get out there and do something new? Yes, it requires of you to do certain things with focus and to be sure of what you want to do and that you want to do it. Does it require courage? It requires courage whenever you are not centered in yourself, when there is still doubt and fear in yourself. But as soon as you say, all right, I'm gonna give it a go, I'm open to what's gonna happen, but I'm sure I'm not gonna lose myself in the process. That is key to approaching life in an open, present way. If you think about it like that, then suddenly you quit your job and new possibilities line up to help you fill that gap. That brings us back to the concept, the fundamental principle, rather, of resonance. But sometimes people block themselves from actually living these interactions, living this connection, because they have a too hard idea, a too focused idea of how things should happen. Stay focused on the what, but let go the how. Allow for the present creative process that curiosity can unlock for you. And suddenly, almost everything that you do will be much easier and will require a lot less energy. More than that, you immediately start attracting things that try to support you. Things that support and stand in immediate favor of your idea. Because creativity is something that the world values. Creating new ways of expression is one of the fundamental things what life is all about. And this creativity, this directed energy into a new approach, is always something that all of life, every single aspect of it, supports, because it enriches everything in the network. It enriches the people around you, because suddenly they can make new experiences with you. It enriches yourself, and it enriches the world. It enriches the vibrational world. It enriches the physical world. It creates new possibilities. Be a creator. Get out there. Start to see things with more open and curious eyes, and suddenly the world will open up to you. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.